You're listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast with your hosts, Emily.
And Jason. Emily, apparently you're not supposed to lick your birthday candles and save them?
I don't know. I made a story share on Instagram that I reuse birthday candles. My mom reused birthday candles. I thought it was like a normal thing to do, but I wanted to know if other people did that. And because it felt funny washing them in the sink to put them away.
Yeah.
And I explained it and I said, I know that they get licked, but I'm really only using them for my family, so it shouldn't matter. Silverware's licked. And
plus it sits there for months until the next birthday.
Well, what people responded is, it's not weird that you reuse birthday candles. It's weird that you're licking them. But who's not licking the frosting off? If frosting is on something, you're going to lick it.
It doesn't matter what the frosting is on.
There are a few exceptions.
I've gotten frosting off of an ear before.
Have you?
No, that would be gross. However, the way our oldest eats.
Good grief. I don't know what to do.
It's like, here's a piece of bread and somehow he has chocolate on his face. How does that work?
He definitely is a messy eater. It's a personality thing. I have a brother who's also a messy eater, but not on his face so much as just around him.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just the way people chew? Are you a messy eater? I'm not a messy eater.
I sort of am a messy eater. I'm just acutely aware of it as a woman, as a grown-up adult.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a trail of crumbs everywhere you go whenever you have food. When you sit at a table, there shouldn't be just splatters and crumbs all around you when you're finished.
Yeah, but also on my face.
That's just basic.
I wipe my mouth a lot because I don't want it just sitting there. And I don't know.
I just get the food in my mouth.
We're just the little piggies. Just little piggies.
I don't understand messy eating. I don't get it. You have a spoon or a fork or a sandwich in your hands. You bring it up to your mouth, and it goes in there.
Maybe it's because you have a big mouth.
It's true. I have a giant mouth. And I also eat very fast. So is that a skill, to eat fast and not messy?
You get stuff on your clothes all the time.
Hardly.
Whatever.
It's usually from cooking. If I'm cooking bacon and grease just pops up. I don't actually usually spill that much. Or a kid comes up to me with food all over their fingers and I love you, Dad. I hate that you just did that to my shirt.
So there have been some random parenting wins. My kids drink from an open cup because...
Is that a win? That's not a thing?
That's a win,
That's not normal?
From very young. Well, it's something people try to do is teach their child. It's a parenting choice, but for me it was just, I don't have a sippy cup, so here's a little ball jar, like a jelly jar.
Yeah.
So that was a win, but what wasn't a win for me was that I never forced or encouraged even silverware, a spoon.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
And our youngest doesn't have an issue, but our older son just wants to eat with his fingers. He even something
I'm sure that
totally
contributes to the
soupy,
mess a little.
Saucy. He just wants to eat with his fingers.
Eats soup with his fingers.
He's just picking in it, and it's a
nuts.
constant. Use your spoon. Use your spoon. Use your spoon.
Why? It gets in the way of my eating.
So maybe he was just born in the wrong country.
Yeah.
I'm
sure he would prefer to eat on the floor too.
I was invited to a dinner party once of a guy from, was it Egypt?
Mm-hmm. No, maybe something.
And
some place out there. One of those foreign lands.
It was kind of a saucy meal, and we ate with our fingers, and it was even ricey or something, or was it some kind of grain?
Yeah.
And you just dig in there with your fingers, and everybody's just doing it. And it was strange. So maybe he just...
Well, you use the bread to scoop things up, right?
No, this didn't have a bread.
Oh.
I'm sure there are. Yeah, I've been to an Ethiopian restaurant that you like use the bread to pick it up, but this was seriously just like you're just scooping in it with your thumbs.
I'm not a fan of that. No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It was yummy. I was like, I mean, in hindsight, this guy's like 21 and making a delicious meal for a group
so he knows
of friends.
what he's talking about, I guess. Yeah. I wonder how much less or how often they get sick compared to utensil users.
Like that's even more of a bolster to their microbiome.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, we're all just digging in with our fingers.
But then you hear things about people who bite their nails are sick more often.
No, I bite my nails and I'm hardly ever sick.
You say that, but you're sick just as much as anyone in our family.
True. That's not true.
As anyone in our family.
No, you guys get sick more than I do because I bite my nails.
That's not true.
It's because I bite my nails.
That's a false statement.
I get sick for less time than you do.
That's not even true. You think that?
Yeah.
Like last time we were sick, I don't know, it was probably COVID. You didn't get it for like a week?
Yeah.
And
See,
then
I held out longer.
No, and then you had it longer and worse. You felt worse. Yeah.
It felt great.
Ugh.
It's because I bite my nails.
It's not true.
It's a habit I can't quit. I can't quit.
Did you also take Tylenol? Just wondering.
I can't handle the chills.
Okay.
A fever's
anyway,
awful.
moving on.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to germs and all that stuff, man, you kind of lit a fire this week on Monday with our video of you and the 3 silky moms in the various soft drinks shirts. It's interesting because there's a lot of information dropped in that video that people didn't like very much.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's some fighting going on that we haven't seen in a while.
Really?
There used to be a lot more fighting in our comments than, I don't know, this year. It kind of wasn't as much fighting. Maybe we went less controversial. I don't know. There was this kind of like, we hit controversy early on with really very crunchy, but just not by our own, like, we weren't pursuing controversy. And so I don't know. It feels weird to be hitting it again or getting more of it again, I guess, because you said something about the Cadillac Escalade thing.
Oh, that's what the fighting?
That's part of it. And then, of course, the suggestion that germs don't act the way that we think they do.
That's where I thought the fighting would happen.
It did too. I mean, there too. Not so much fighting as just like, you people are idiots because you germs are exactly how we're told they are. And I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
But like, truthfully, I don't know the answer because everything is just a theory.
Right.
So I know what people theorize, and it's also just hard to know who to believe on that stuff. So
both sides are very outspoken and convincing on that particular subject.
The Cadillac Escalade comment, I mean,
that one's pretty heavy.
Obviously, I know that some families have to have 2 incomes to support their family. And my heart is soft to those mothers who want to homeschool and actually feel like they cannot and that they have sacrificed everything they can. That's just the disparity in.
And so that sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, but there are lots of people who offhandedly say that they want to be able to stay home with their kids. They wish they could, but they can't while living a certain lifestyle. And, obviously you can't make blanket statements. You cannot make blanket statements.
Right.
In this world.
There wasn't actually a blanket statement made in the video. It was a very specific statement. In fact, here's what bothers me the most about the people who had a problem with that comment. And we'll link to the video in the description. But at the end of it, you're saying, let's just to explain, you're saying we're not supposed to live this way. You've been sold a lie that you're supposed to, get a job, send your kids off to school
to eat foods that can hardly be considered nourishing.
Right. And then and the other mom says, but we have to work. And you said, what, to pay off the new Cadillac Escalade you came here with? And so what bothers me is that the moms who are working, whether they need to or don't need to, internalize that and take it as an affront to them, even if you're not talking about that particular person. You're talking about the cat. You know how much a Cadillac Escalade is?
$80,000.
I think it starts at $90,000.
Wow.
Starting. So like median, I would think, cost of a Cadillac Escalade's over $100,000. Listen, if you have a strong desire to stay at home with your kids and homeschool them, and you drive a $100,000 car, I'm going to say that your desire, and this is coming from me, you could come at me if you want to, your desire to have nice things outweighs your desire to be a stay-at-home person or homeschool your kids.
Yes.
That is the statement.
And that's fine.
Nobody's saying that you're not allowed to make that
priorities.
decision.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying that you don't mind sending your kid to school over homeschool. Maybe you don't feel like you should homeschool, but don't tell me your strongest desire is to homeschool when you're driving a $100,000 car.
And what they would say,
because it's not your strongest desire,
right?
And
but
that's okay.
It feels unfair that other people can do that and homeschool. But that is
that's just how it is. You can't. I mean, everybody's.
I feel that. I feel
it
feels
it's unfair that you
people
live in
have
America.
more money.
It's unfair that you're the poorest person in America and yet one of the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
It's unfair that someone else was born in a terrible poor city in the middle of. Name a country that's awful. I don't know. Africa is always used. I mean, it's sad that you live in...
Africa is a continent, Jason.
I said a country in Africa is what I'm saying. I understand that Africa is not a country. I'm not an idiot.
People, how people talk like that.
I mean, there's plenty of rich people in Africa too. I'm saying, but there is, it's always used as an example. There are poor kids in Africa who can't have... Well, yeah, okay. You're saying that... You complain. Oh, it gets to me. All the fighting about that and the people who internalize a comment like that. Mm-hmm. It really gets to me. We're not talking about you. There's one comment I saw where a lady said, "I know this isn't about me because I'm a single mother," and then she said the rest of her comment. And so it's like, well, at least you're acknowledging that this wasn't directed at you, because we've had things in the past where it's like, well, I'm a single mom and I have to work. And it's like, well, it's obviously not about you. Mm-hmm. So people think about themselves way too much. And something else that we keep getting, and it's about every political thing that ever happens. And this is, I get hung up on this. People really want us to address political things.
They want to know where we stand on everything. Yes.
On everything. If anything happens, there's been a comment that keeps coming up from several different people. We even have a comment on the podcast. And that's fine, saying we really want to hear what you have to say about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I'm not sure why. I guess my idea is, why do you want to know? Why do you want to hear from us, particularly you, from these moms and stuff? Why do people want us to address everything? It's all, I mean, I can't tell you how many comments we've gotten about, why don't you ever talk about Palestine and Israel? It's like, well, we make crunchy comedy videos.
Yeah. I think, people find connection in our content. And so then maybe they're longing for a deeper connection in knowing that we're on the same side as them, or there's like this camaraderie there. I struggle with it as well because I'm not an expert on everything that's going on in the world.
That's another part that I feel, especially when it comes to geopolitical things like big wars that are happening, like Israel and Palestine. Like it's like I understand that very bad things are happening. I get that. I certainly don't understand the whole picture and do not feel qualified to comment, especially in detail, about things that are going on.
Especially because a lot of my news comes from other random influencers sharing their opinion on whatever, who aren't qualified to necessarily speak on things. I mean, obviously, you can always speak your opinion. That is valid. To have an opinion is valid. For me, to have such a public platform, I want to be so thoroughly educated before I were to like speak about something.
Yeah. Then you're not sure that it's we come back to, is it our role? What is our role as really very crunchy when it comes to current events?
I think a lot of people also can read between the lines.
Yeah.
Life is nuanced. And if we are, sharing about our faith here on this podcast, sharing snippets here and there, I think people can draw conclusions. And it's not that we don't share things out of fear.
No, I am not afraid to talk about my faith. Like I am, and you are. We're Christians. I'm not afraid to say that I am a Christian. I also don't know what to do with our platform, because our platform, really very crunchy, to me, it started as it is an entertainment platform. I wanted to make fun of you as a crunchy mom.
Yeah.
In a very public way.
Thanks.
No, I'm kidding. But it started out, we make skits to relate to people with those skits. Like for people who know a crunchy mom, who are crunchy moms, whatever, everybody can relate to it in a certain way. And that is pretty much all we have ever done. And it is and it's been successful. It remains successful. People still watch it. They still enjoy it. They still share about it. And so, are we supposed to deviate from that?
Maybe there is a hunger for, like I said, deeper connection and authenticity. And I feel like I do share in my stories more, like my stories on Instagram, like what's going on in my real life. Not that much. Pardon me. No. Not that much, because I don't have a lot going on in my life. I am a stay-at-home mom who's raising my kids. Sometimes I see what other people share and I think that didn't add any value.
Sure.
Why am I consuming what they are so they're trying really hard to just share something.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to just consume whatever, you know? Yeah. But then, I mean, I'm kind of speaking against myself, because how is my comedy adding value? Like, I want to make people laugh, but I'm sure it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always hit. So I don't know. I think maybe people do desire a deeper connection. Maybe they do crave authenticity, or it's just tricky, because for me, I follow things like House and Garden UK or UK House and Garden. I don't know what it.
Yeah.
You know, it's some sort of interior design page
based in the UK.
Right. I don't go to their page expecting to see anything other than pictures of beautiful rooms.
Right.
That's what I want from them. I actually don't want anything else from them.
Right.
I don't want. They have done a few things, like they did an article about how, and this is in line, I guess, but people who, there's this rising trend that people think they can just be an interior designer, because there have been so many home influencers on Instagram. So everybody thinks that they can be a designer, but it's not. You can't.
Okay. According to them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I didn't even like that. Like, I want to see beautiful rooms that are inspiring, and that is it. And so I don't know where people fall for really very crunchy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're wanting something from us that we can't necessarily give them.
Yeah. I mean, we also have the brand that we created isn't supposed to be for one side or the other. You know? And so it's like, I'm not trying to not stand up for what is true and what is right, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like our place is to entertain people and not polarize people. There's plenty of accounts that polarize people.
And what's dangerous in those accounts, in my opinion, is that, and it's been used on me 1,000 times, they become sort of this echo chamber.
Yeah.
And it's great for rallying people, but like, how can you reach someone if they're never going to see your content?
Right.
Like, I've always felt that Really Very Crunchy is a place of unifying crunchy moms, wherever you fall.
Yeah.
There have been things that have totally turned people off, like jokes about the moon landing, or jokes about wearing a mask, or...
I mean, if we would actually just go to the moon one day, that would be great. just weeding out those people who are unsure right now.
But it is tricky. I recently had an experience in my Forest Friends group where mom came to me and she felt concerned that I don't know how to say it, vibe of the group was shifting towards a certain
conservative.
Yeah. And it previously had been, kind of a mixed group, mixed religions, mixed
because you're there to have, just play.
To me, the unifying
element.
Yes, is that we want our kids to get outside and enjoy nature and have friends and fun.
That transcends politics, that transcends ideologies, especially at such a young age. There's no
agenda there.
There's no agenda.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so,
other than get outside and play.
Due to the rise in the popularity of homeschooling, there are several secular homeschoolers who have had a hard time finding a place. A lot of the homeschool groups in our area are specifically Christian-based.
Yeah.
And Forest Friends, while I believe that the world is a mission field, we don't claim we're a Christian outdoor group.
Yeah.
So like I think a lot of people found a place there,
right?
Because the only agenda is getting kids outside.
But I could see the problem being, of course, that like if it's not specifically a Christian group for Christian families, I don't necessarily want what their thought is I don't want the values of non-Christians to permeate the minds of my children, which a lot of people don't understand that concept. We both grew up in Christian homes, so I totally get this concept. So that's why you kind of have to police, like, we're not talking about this in this group. We're not doing
in any way. Not
right. In one direction
side,
or another.
Yeah, it's like that's off the table.
Right. That said, as kids get older, groups are going to have a harder time staying together that aren't specified around what ideology they want to be in. Because
my kids have been influenced in a way that aligns with my values.
Yeah.
But I've heard them talking about political things that they don't understand because they heard it from another kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm not a fan of
I
that.
don't want you
I'm not a
talking
fan
about
of that.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think a 5 or an 8-year-old needs to be talking about politics in general.
If they have a natural interest,
It's fine to know. It's fine to know who the president is.
Yeah,
it's fine
of
to
course.
know politics. I'm not saying you shouldn't be
but
educated.
the opinion.
I think kids should know, like, the process, start learning about government and all that stuff. They shouldn't be providing an opinion hit piece that you might see on, either Fox News or MSNBC or whatever.
Sure.
It's like, you're a little young for that hit piece, kiddo.
Because they can't fully grasp.
They don't have the full story. They just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that comes in, like, I don't know. I mean, we truly feel at a loss. And it's not that we're, like I said, we're not shying away from sharing our beliefs.
Well, you talk about the world being a mission field. And, and that is true. As a Christian, that is how we are supposed to approach life. And so we come to this. We have 3.5 million followers on Really Very Crunchy across all platforms. And so my thought is, though, and I think about this. I think about it a lot. I wonder what my dad would have said. He was a pastor. I wonder what other pastors that I've run into in my life would say with a following of that magnitude. I wonder, would they tell me, or would Paul in the Bible tell me, you should take that platform and preach the gospel to all the nations? Is that what you're supposed to do with a comedy account that gets 3.5 million followers? I don't know.
I will say, we are not above, I'm going to put it in air quotes, the algorithm, which is actually just the audience,
Right.
but also like shifting trends and whatever. So if we were to go all in on political statements or all in on religious statements,
Mm-hmm.
do you think the videos would even be seen, is what I'm saying? Probably the political ones.
The political ones, yeah. If you
for
take
a little while.
No, I've seen other influencers do it. Like, they go all in on political stuff and they blow up because that's what the culture consumes. It's political, it's current events. They just consume that constantly, and you can get good views off of doing something that is current events. Like, you've seen it all over the place with Charlie Kirk already. So many accounts get, for good or bad. I'm not saying it's bad, or you just talk about it. You see people get millions and millions and millions of views just making a statement. And that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, yeah, you get into current events, you can blow up an account, and it's like, that's why people do it. On the other hand, yeah, you don't just, I don't know how you shift a comedy channel and I'm not saying you should. I'm saying I don't know how you approach this. I feel like we have a responsibility, particularly as Christians, to do something.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is other than what we already do, and it's provide, I think, clean comedy for that families can enjoy, and provide laughter to people. And that sounds, when you say it, so weak.
Mm-hmm. It does, but I've had people come to me and say, like, I was going through this hard season, and I looked forward to your content because I knew I would laugh. Or like, your content was the first thing that made me laugh after my daughter died.
That's heavy. Yeah.
Or that family who they found connection in my content, and her brother was dying, and one of the last things they did together was watch some of our videos for that connection and that. Sorry, not meaning to choke up. So it's not weak. Like, it is meaningful, but it looks weak to someone.
Well, the statement sounds weak.
Yeah. How do we also make people who align with us feel seen, feel heard, feel connected with?
Yeah.
does it ultimately come down to you have to put it all out there and choose sides? Like, and are we supposed to? We're like, we came into this conversation really trying to figure out, and I think you've noticed that about our podcast sometimes, we don't know the answer.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure it out, and sometimes just sitting down and talking it out with you guys helps us. And we also love your input.
Yeah.
Because
Should we get more political? Leave a comment.
And I want there to be that, like, should we get more political with my level of qualification? Or do you even have to be qualified? I'm going to be honest here. I keep my world very small. I get so overwhelmed thinking about all of the horrible things that are going on in the whole world. All of it. I don't believe that we were meant to carry that weight.
No.
And if I allow myself, my thoughts can be driven by that to the point that it is affecting my ability to show up as a mother in the way that I want to. And so, yes, I often kind of try to tune it out or not dwell on the current events that are happening. And because of that, that's why I don't feel as qualified to speak on those things.
Yeah.
Because
you're not
I'm not
consuming
dwelling on those things. I'm trying not to consume it constantly like it's my job.
And I think that's probably a huge problem with a lot of people, is that they spend hours of their day consuming political, I use political as a blanket term, but just current events, and studying it, really what they're doing. You touched on opinion earlier. Most of what's out there, even on news networks, almost all of it is just opinion. We're talking, like, you're just consuming people's opinion, and so then you get into these little echo chambers of consuming only a certain type of person's opinion just to reinforce your opinion. And so
I saw a video of a lady saying, she said, we aren't seeing the same events happen. Depending on the news outlet you're watching.
Oh, you're right.
You're seeing two different things.
You have two completely different stories. And it's happening right now with the Charlie Kirk thing.
That is going to drive your thoughts based on whatever the algorithm has built.
And whatever you're bent toward.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, like, the algorithm, quote unquote, judges what you prefer,
right?
And they cater to you to keep you on
so it's
longer.
Showing you the accounts that are going to reinforce the idea that you originally sort of felt,
right? So we are seeing two different events play out,
and so we keep getting comments going back to that, and we got one today. It's like, still waiting on you to comment about Charlie Kirk. And I thought, in a way, that's, first of all, weird. You're just sitting here waiting for, like, what do you, it goes back to, what do you want and why?
Yeah,
when you come to a content creator, what is your motivation for us to speak out on a specific event? You want us to speak about it? Is horrific. It's a horrific thing. Whether you're on the right or the left, it doesn't matter. Whether you think he was spewing hate or you think he was preaching the absolute truth, it doesn't matter. He was shot while speaking into a microphone. And so, like, that's horrific. And it does feel different. It does feel different than most of the horrific things that we see, because it feels like, and I heard somebody else say this, it feels like you're putting up the Constitution on the wall and shooting the First Amendment. That's what it feels like. It feels awful.
Can I read this?
Yeah. Oh. Your flashlight's on.
I really liked this, and it is kind of talking about why it feels different. And I don't know who this is, because somebody else shared it who I follow. See, and that's the tricky thing.
Yeah, you don't know the original source, and it could have been Satan.
I know. This says, okay, and maybe I should be embarrassed that I don't know who this is. Chad Prather?
I don't know that name.
Okay, so This other person that I follow shared this.
Sorry if any of these people
like,
are horrible people.
What
I
if
don't know.
he's a Nazi?
You never know.
Like,
you never know. That's
okay.
You could get in so much trouble sharing somebody's stuff. You have no like. I like this quote. Didn't know he was a horrid person.
Okay, but this says the reason it feels heavier than so many other tragedies.
Right.
Maybe I should be able to read. Is because your spirit recognizes that this is not just a man, it's a battle. Scripture says eternity is written on our hearts, and when someone who carried truth with boldness is suddenly gone, eternity aches within us. It's like our souls know instinctively that the darkness celebrated is this way too.
That's pretty one-sided.
And that strikes us at the core. The reason you can't shake it is because psychologically, we don't only attach ourselves to people, we attach ourselves to symbols. I'm going to go on because I'm trying to get to this part that I really like. We are bound together by a shared purpose and a shared longing for truth by the Spirit of God Himself, weaving us into a fabric that cannot be torn apart. A loss pulled at this fabric, and every one of us felt the tug. I loved that imagery, and that it's that kind of thing that makes me feel like maybe we do need to share more, because it's like this is bigger than politics. It's bigger than an event. Mm-hmm. It feels like a cultural shift.
Yeah.
And so like I can see now. I can see why people are like, where do you stand? Where do you stand? That's what they're asking when they say,
yeah.
Why haven't you shared something? They're saying, where do you stand on this matter? But to that, I say, does it matter where I stand?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Well, in
the ultimate goal of our content of making people laugh, I don't know.
Well, there's people who would tell you, yeah, it absolutely does. And there's people who tell you, no, it doesn't. And that's, there is no answer.
I guess like when you go to the movie theater to watch a movie, do you need to know where everyone stands who's in that movie? But is it different for us? Because
yeah, I mean, you're watching a movie, so you already know where everybody stands in Hollywood. So, so it's like you're going for the characters.
I mean, not everybody.
Yeah, no, I know.
But yeah, you're.
It's different because, I mean, certainly movies portray political themes and they have agendas oftentimes, but like,
I'm not talking about the movie itself. I'm talking about the actor within the movie.
Yeah, and they often have agendas in the roles that they choose and then the stories they're trying to tell, particularly directors and the writers of the stories. They have agendas. They have messages that they're sending. Oftentimes, not always. Sometimes it's just nothing deeper than, it's not very deep, but then sometimes it really is. Like,
that's the point I was trying to make, is when I show up and I get someone's opinion from an account that I wasn't looking for their opinion, sometimes it either disappoints me or makes me want to leave the account that I followed for a completely different purpose. Mm-hmm. But can we not follow someone that we disagree with because we like the other things that they create?
Right. I guess let your main things be your main things, and then, I mean, it's interesting not to equate this at all to like 9/11.
Okay, sorry, I laughed. I was just like, where are you going?
No, it's not even close. But like, I can't imagine something like 9/11 happening again and us not saying something. However, 9/11, if you go back, which I was a freshman in high school when that happened, it was a big unifying event. Mm-hmm. It was a tragedy that unified people. People were flying American flags all over the place. People were like, stand together because we experienced a tragedy together. And again, this is not that. This isn't that.
Do you think that we're like too far gone from there? Like that there's never going to be another event that's unifying. It actually feels like everything that happens is dividing us further and further, to the point that now I know people in my community and I know too much about their political beliefs to the point that they don't share it like in their stores or whatever, but I see what they liked on a post. I see what they've commented on, and I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
Because I do, like, personally, my personal conviction is shop small, support local businesses, support, small,
yeah.
And now I don't want to, because I know.
Because everybody's
everyone's,
yeah, all their business,
all of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is healthy. You lose a level of
community,
niceness, like neighborliness, because you automatically have a wedge between you.
We were, as human beings, we're never, I believe, we're never supposed to have as much information as we have. I don't think we were ever supposed to be this informed about anything.
I think if you go back and you see the rate, especially in women, it seems, of medication required to just
cope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women in particular feel deeply, and that's a beautiful part of us. But I know so many women, who think it's normal to require antidepressants and all sorts of stuff to just cope and to just be a normal person.
And at the end of the day, what is probably lacking the most is a good sense of community, which our modern society has put into the cloud rather than into interpersonal communication. Like,
I mean, that and the change in our diets and the change in, like everything. It's all
just from a social standpoint. Well, just from a social standpoint, how lonely are we? And then we find ourselves in these communities of people, these echo chambers and everything else. I mean, I just think that we're bombarded with everything. This whole Charlie Kirk thing, it pulled me in. I never actually followed him that much. Like I saw his clips come up every now and then. But and I don't think you even knew really much.
I knew who he was, but didn't really. No, like I said, I don't particularly enjoy consuming political content.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like that I shouldn't know what's going on. I keep abreast of the current events, but it's not something that I dwell in,
Well, I was just saying that this whole event sort of just pulled me in online, and it's sort of been a dark week, I think, not just because of the tragedy itself, but because I've personally been pulled in, drawn to my phone a lot more. I want to see updates about anything with the assassin. I want to see updates about like what's happening next in the process. I'm drawn to it more, and I feel less happy. Again, obviously the tragedy doesn't make you feel great, but like at the same time, just not being as present as I was a week before. And I don't like that.
I mean,
place.
I'm not trying to like say something negative about you, but I can tell that your patience is shortened in real life.
And this is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
That's kind of the effect that a lot of people aren't even really talking about. It's like depression and this withdrawing type of behavior is probably happening on a massive scale just because people's eyes are far more glued to, and and then I almost think that our platform at this moment is a great way, in a very small way, for a small group of people, relatively speaking, as an escape from that.
That's sort of what I feel is like. See, I have withdrawn from consuming content and
Yeah, I
stuff
wish I would have gone that way.
because I don't just want it fed to me over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
But then am I wrong? Like, should I?
No, you're not. I think I think, yes, it's important to have some information, to have an idea of what the world is talking about to a degree, but I don't think it's something that should consume your life. What should consume your life is your love of God, trickled down to your love of family, growing these kids in the way they need to go. That's what your life should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my life should be. That's what our lives should be. Yes, we stay informed of what's going on, but we can't let it consume us. We can't let it consume us. There's people on the right now saying you should let it consume you and let this be a rallying against what they're fighting against. There's people on the left saying the same type of things in different ways. And it's like, maybe it's time to take a stand. Like,
Don't allow apathy.
No, that's the other
Obviously.
danger. That's the other danger. You can withdraw from it so much that you just cut yourself off from the world, and that's its own issue.
I would say that is where I would tend to want to be.
Yeah.
Because if you can ignore it or not care about it, it feels like it's not happening.
Mhm.
But it is happening. So, yeah, I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
Personality types definitely come into play here.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like this idea of like, okay, speak up. Are you speaking up to speak up, or are you virtue signaling? Are you
That's a
doing
good
it to
point.
also look at me? I'm speaking up now. It's like people do that all the time about everything.
Yeah.
About everything.
Yeah. Well, and it's so easy because there's so much access to information. I mean, I go back to saying, like, I don't feel qualified to talk about this, but it's like those people aren't either. They're not any more qualified. They just are taking what someone else is saying and reworking it, restating it, reusing it.
I can't tell you how many. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I can't tell you how many posts I've seen of people talking about their texts with Charlie Kirk. And it's like, we're in the thousands now. It's like, how many thousands of people did he text in his last days before? Everybody who he has ever texted ever has made sure that that they texted with Charlie Kirk. So it's just like this weird thing. Like, I knew him in a little bit. Like everybody who ever had any contact with him whatsoever is like, I spoke to him too.
I think that is the desire to be seen.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the world doesn't need to see you.
Well, and to express your pain.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, because when you lose someone it is different. Like, I touched him. I like I knew him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
No.
I'm just saying, but whenever you lose someone, especially in a tragedy, I mean, it happened to me. Like a girl that I was very close friends with in high school committed suicide earlier this year.
Yeah.
And just the fact that we were so close 18 years ago, 20 years ago, I guess
it hits hard.
Yeah, it hits harder than someone else random, that is just like people make an impression on you, and that's there forever. That's like tucked in your heart, that you knew them, that you had a conversation with them.
I mean, I guess that's just where the world is. It's just talking online. Sometimes it's into the void. Sometimes it's to bots. Sometimes it's to actual people that you just never actually see face to face. And it all just feels so weird. This digital age, it feels weirder this week more than any other. And I don't know. I hate all of it. Have
people forgotten how to connect on a personal basis? Is that
you're not. Well,
the
other part of it too is that when there is something polarizing that happens, you're not allowed to talk about it in person because it just turns into a fight. So nobody actually talks about anything in person. They go online to spew all of what the things they want to say, whether good or bad, oftentimes hateful, and they don't ever talk about anything. You just go along in the regular life being this person who just remains guarded all the time. And then you're never actually talking about anything unless you just fully agree with the person. Do people actually, and that's what, like him or hate him, that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. That was his whole platform, was talking with people who disagreed with him. I mean, he was really good at it, and he was really smart. I watched a few of his videos and thought, like, man, I can't hardly remember what I ate for breakfast. And he's just like spouting off everything from like the Federalist Papers. Well, okay, that's cool. And he had a brain that was just, some of these guys that walk up to the microphone didn't have a chance.
That would have been me.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been me. I thought to myself watching one of the videos, I was like, I would have been one of those people reading off of their phone, like, so if I didn't like this about the Constitution, and he'd just be like, yeah. Anyway, no. So I think we've lost the ability to disagree with anybody in person.
Another aspect that I don't think people think about for us necessarily is, and maybe other people are in families that are more unified in their thinking, but I have a lot of family members who I don't see eye to eye with.
Yeah.
And it isn't my mission. I honestly don't feel like God has given me the mission to share strong political stances. And like to do so in a way that could really hurt true relationships feels like I'm ruining an opportunity to connect on a deeper level with some people and ultimately, share my faith with them. And it just feels strange to have the expectation to put all that on the line when someone just needs a little validation from me when they don't actually need it. You know what I mean?
I don't think taking a stand or whatever, or commenting on a certain thing has anything to do with the need, in terms of, as far as we are concerned, it has nothing to do with the need to provide validation for a follower. It's for some random commenter. Is that who you're talking about?
For someone to say, still waiting on your...
Yeah, I would never do it for that person. For the person to come on multiple times and say, still in a rude way. I know it's fine to ask in a perfectly nice way.
Even in a message or...
Yeah, that's fine. And, we can respectfully disagree on what you think we should do. But to come out publicly and just be kind of in a rude way, just be like, still waiting on you to talk about this political thing. It's like, well, I'm not ever going to do anything for you. We don't create content for you. Sorry. We don't. It's like, you're just here to be chronically online. That's all. You're a keyboard warrior person. Like, you have your agenda. Go do your thing. Grow your own platform and do what you want to do. Like, it's annoying. I don't know. But particularly the rudeness. Like, don't come at us for not saying something. Everybody's processing things. I've seen so much stuff said that is just complete hogwash about whatever event because it's just a knee-jerk reaction. Let people sit with something for a while too.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily have it's just information to us. Yeah, off the cuff. Wow, what a terrible tragedy.
Yeah.
For whoever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of this in a comment. We read all of the comments, don't necessarily get to respond to all of them. yeah, I don't even know what question we're asking. We're just, like she said earlier, we're just working through this in our own, in a public format with you guys.
And if you do have an opinion, I would like to know, like, on a deeper level, why. Not just, I think you should share more.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why do you desire that from us or from someone else that you
from
follow?
anybody?
Yeah, like
that. Yeah, with this type of account.
With this type of account. Obviously, if you follow Nick Freitas, like, it would be weird if he wasn't making commentary.
Yeah, I mean, he's a political figure.
Right.
Right.
But for Really Very Crunchy, what are your expectations and why?
Right. And I bet it's going to be split. I bet there's people who fall on the side of you stand more on political things. And there's going to be people to say, I appreciate you not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't help. We need a poll. It's so funny. We're not actually asking, do you guys want us to be more political? We'll do it. It's like, no, we're just working through it.
Yeah, just wanting to know the motivation and the desires and, like, what is the draw, particularly from a comedy account.
Yeah.
But I don't like putting us into such a box either, because it's like, well, we are people and we do have opinions, and we started this podcast to talk about deeper issues. And
yeah, I mean, I'll say anything on the podcast. It's like, because it's I think it's the people who we connect with most deeply in our audience.
Yeah.
And if you're here and you're listening to this, man, we love you guys.
Yeah.
We've said that before, but it's like, this is our core group right here. And I don't know. We actually value your opinion. We get so many opinions on social media, like in the thousands. It's just a lot of noise. But here, I really value opinion a lot. Or it's weighted more.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't value other opinions. It weighs more here. And so I am
because these are people who are actually invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're here.
Yeah.
They're here. And I think they understand us on a deeper level as well.
Sure.
And I think we kind of have this understanding of, I feel like I can have this conversation here in the podcast and not be ripped to pieces online. Like, you can't just get on Instagram, have this question in a 30-second video, and it make any sense and like expect any kind of coherent response.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, but here, that's what this is for.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we appreciate you, and I certainly appreciate all the reviews you've given us.
Really, Jason?
So if we could just we're trying to get to 2,000 reviews. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. And if you haven't left a review yet, then maybe we're not connecting on as deep of a level as I thought. So, just saying. I'm just you do what you want. Thank you for listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast. I apologize if this was a little all over the place.
Gosh, it's like I ran this one.
Well,
led this one. Ran it.
It's like I ran it.
Like I ran it.
Speaking of Iran. No. All right. Well, again, thank you. We'll see you next time.
You guys have a good week, and I hope that you focus on light and truth and beauty and goodness and
community.
Yeah.
Not just your online Facebook groups.
I hope that you look some people in the eyeballs this week and find genuine connection there.
That's the conclusion to this. I'll just leave it at what you said. That's great.
All right. Bye.
See you next time.